Every so often, a man will come into my comment sections and say that they have absolutely no privileges as a result of being a man.
One of the only, if not the only, time I will agree with your video is the notion that, yes, men do have privileges. But let me just also clarify that every human being has some kind of privilege.
Once in a blue moon, I feel like answering the question. Today is not that day.
Why bother make this video then? What's the point?
With information so easily available on the internet, it blows my mind that men still expect that women should do the research for them.
When you make an argument or a statement, you typically expect people to request proof of your statements. That's how an argument works. You can't just sit there, make a bunch of statements, and then expect people to just take your word for it without any type of supportive evidence or proof of anything you say. Like, what?
The general problem with men that ask this question is that they don't want the answer. So if I were to take my precious time to answer the question, he would invalidate each item line by line. And that's because it's to his advantage to pretend that the patriarchy doesn't exist and that male privilege is not a thing.
Not true. Another component to argumentation is rebuttals. When you present your arguments and your evidence, the people that you're arguing against would come up with a counter-argument, following with counter-evidence. If the men who disagree with you are able to effectively counter your argument with counter-evidence and disprove your points, then that says something about your ability to argue and debate, especially when the topic of the argument is male privileges, which is entirely based off of male experiences, things that you do not experience because you are not a male. Unless you actually consult the source of the topic, i.e. men, you're not really going to have an effective argument strategy when making your point. To me, this just comes off as because women have struggles, men do not have struggles. And because men have privileges, women do not have privileges. That's what it comes off as. Are you ready to acknowledge the privileges that you and other women have in the society?
Audacity is unreal to me, but here we are. So if anyone in the comment section would like to leave the answers, by all means. Let's see if this guy is actually open to hearing the answers. I know where I'd place my bet.
I find it a bit funny that you talk about men not fully listening to what you have to say, while simultaneously you not trying to fully acknowledge what men are trying to say. You trying to talk over them about the things that they have gone through, insinuating that they don't go through things at all. Once again, just because women go through things doesn't mean that men don't go through things either. Sometimes men and women go through similar things. Irregardless, safe to say that you and women like you would probably not even acknowledge what I have to say or any other man that has to say, because you already have your preconceived notions of how men act and think and feel. The consequences of ego